has a link from Zoom to YouTube. So while you're on Zoom, Ethan, what you can do is you can record to Zoom. And what I have then is let me just make sure I have it. Let's see if it'll link. I have some issues here, but I'll then record to Loom. And it says the content of this meeting is sent to a third party, and we get it. We're doing on YouTube. So what am I doing? I'm recording in a number of ways. So for instance, we could have other people coming in from throughout the world that were not registered, Zach, in this class. If we gave them the URL or the channel, they could actually see us all. So once they're seeing us all, that's why I was telling Sophia and others that we want to present ourselves well, because everyone is seeing us. Any questions up to now? So, Daniel, you just want to introduce yourself, and then we'll start getting into the course and the syllabus.
Sure. Hi, guys. My name is Daniel Flores. I'm a junior here at the school. My major is finance and business tech. And as Professor mentioned, I took this class last semester. So if you guys have any questions at all, just feel free to message me, chat, or email. And I'll put my phone number there. So yeah, I'm here to help out.
Perfect. So I think it's fantastic. One of the things I love about having a teaching assistant and teaching assistant in training is that you can get quick answers from them rather than waiting. They're there to help. Okay. Any questions up to now? So everybody's ready. We'll see if this is the course that you want to take with you. So this is what I'm going to be doing is I'm going for every session, I'm going to have somebody monitor my chat. Daniel for sure will be on the chat, but I'd like to have another student just look at the chat since I'm busy conveying information. And if there's something special that I need to know about, you can let me know and I will cover it rather than doing that. So do we have any volunteers tonight of someone wanting to cover the chat? Anybody want to do that?
I can cover the chat.
Okay, so Clark, great. So Clark, just view it once in a while and just let me know, and you can then let me know if there's something that I need to cover, or else everybody can do it. Perfect, Clark. I appreciate it. So the first thing that I want to do, and everybody be there, is everybody needs to log in time. If I'll always be 10 minutes early, but at least everybody starts at 3:35. I want you on a computer. I don't want you in a car. I want you in a safe environment, and I want you in a quiet environment. Everybody with me? It seems like it's okay. We're ready to go, and we're ready to tumble. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. And if you look at it, you can see, everybody can see my screen. And once they share my screen, one of the things that you can see here is I have just a notepad that on the bottom here where I'm recording also via my MPEG file via my other computer. You can see right here in the corner, that's my Loom. Later on, you'll discover other recording software. I'm using Loom. And here you can see here, up here, I have my chats. I have 38 people that are participating. And here whenever I do a file, I usually put the time, the date, the time, the day, the file name and what it is. It's BTE210. And now I'm going to Chrome. And in Chrome, I have BTE210. Okay. Everybody's there. So everybody's getting into Zoom. If you go into the Zoom meetings, you'll be able, I record all my Zoom classes. I put it in, and you can see here, there's a place called Cloud Recordings in your Zoom meetings. After the class, I record to the cloud. Zoom then comes back and gives me a recording. So you'll be able to see your Zoom recordings. The other thing that, let me just move this a bit out of the way. The other things that you can see here is we have announcements, and you can see in the first announcements, either I put an announcement or Daniel puts an announcement, and then we have the syllabus. So at this point, I have edit mode of what I have in the syllabus. Let's go into the syllabus and discuss what it is, because this is going to be important for us. In the course syllabus, let me make this a little zoom in. You see my name. Since this is mostly remote, by office hours will be after the class. I usually end a few minutes before the end of the class. So if you have personal questions you want to ask me or ask me other questions, you can. You can reach out to also Daniel as well. And also, I teach the same class right after this. At 5:05 to 6:15, I teach the same class. And at 6:20 to 7:20 on our Mondays and Wednesdays, I do office hours online. This link right here is my other classes link. So I remain on that class, and you can then enter that. Or if you need to see me, you can send me emails, and we can set up another appointment to meet. If there's something that really needs to be, we can set up a Zoom just between myself and you. We can do that. So however you need to do this, sometimes I can just answer via email. Sometimes you can just send something to Daniel to say. But be sure you can imagine how many emails, right? How many emails did I have? Daniel, was it 55,000 or something?
I think it was 60,000 unread.
With 60,000. So you can imagine how many emails I have. So one of the things that make sure you do is put in BTE210, the section, and your name there so we can do it. So you must have then a laptop with your camera. You have to have internet connections. We're going to be using a book called Introduction to Information Systems, the 10th editions. And we're also going to use something called Wiley Plus. You can talk about it. You can read the course description, since I want to go through a lot of things today. But basically, we're going to be looking at how technology can especially help businesses. How can technology help in reducing costs, increasing revenues, getting closer to my customer, being more efficient? And of course, we're going to be looking at hardware. We're going to be looking at software. I'm really adding a lot of new material this semester with the help of Daniel, and possibly with the help of you folks, in helping in terms of artificial intelligence, looking at AI. I'm sure a lot of you know Gemini and ChatGPT, but beyond that, we'll be doing it. I have academic partnerships with a number of companies. We have, for one, with Wix that will be coming in, giving us a domain name free. They're going to be upgrading us. We have other companies right now that also are doing some AI bots, conversational bots. We have one with Fastbot. They're a British company. They're going to be allowing us to use their software, and they're going to be coming in and giving guest lectures. Since we are at 3:30, that's a great time, because other people around the world can come in and give us guest lectures as well. These are ethics, of course, attendance and participation. You are required to attend. We'll take class attendance. We'll do that today. Basically, I'd like you to come on time. If there's any issues about you having to leave, you can put that in the chat, or send me an email, or send Daniel an email about that. Grading, you'll see that. We do peer review. Not only do I grade you, your peers will grade you. And this is important. Make this a note for everyone. Our exams, we're going to have 2 exams. And our 2 exams will be in the School of Business. It will be in person. Did you hear that, Johan? That we're going to have 2 exams, and I'll go over the dates of that will be in person, that we'll be doing it in the School of Business. Each exam will be 2 parts. It'll be multiple choice, open-ended questions. We do a review beforehand. A lot of times the multiple choice have to do with our readings, the open-ended with our exercises, class
One more thing on that.
participation. Pardon?
One more thing on that. The exams are
Yeah.
not cumulative. I know everyone wants to
Right.
know about
The
that.
exams, we're going to have 2 exams. We will have a first exam and a second exam all before the finals. We'll use the finals for our projects. Perfect. And Daniel, please add on anytime.
Of course.
Participation during the class. If you have any questions here, you can put it in the chat. And our people, general behavior, of course. I really am treating this class as you are my colleagues in many ways. So I expect in my colleagues, I expect you folks have a lot of skills that I don't have. You in a lot of ways that you've worked in things that I don't have. So we're going to be doing it together. So I ask that everybody be respectful. Class recordings, all my classes are recorded. If you want to review it or miss it, you can always review my class recordings. Here's the grading. This is the part that students are really concerned about, I find, is the grading. And the grading is you're going to have 2 exams, exam 1 and exam 2. You're going to have a final project that will be due the day of our final exam. We'll have assignments, we'll have class participation, we'll have quizzes and attendance. Exams are required, and this is basically, if we look at it, this is the weeks that we're going to. So right now, what I'd like to do is make sure, Clark, that everybody puts in their calendar on October 9th, we have our first exam. And that is in person in the School of Business in the Jenkins building, room 210, in the computer lab. So we'll do it on the computer. There'll be 2 parts. We'll do the multiple choice on the computer, on the university's computer. You'll bring your own laptop just for backup, and we'll do it there. And then we'll be going through other things, and then make sure November 18th, we will have exam. That should read. Can you change that?
I'll fix it.
Yeah, that should say exam 2, right? So that's always good that we always correct our work. So our exam will be before the Thanksgiving break. And guess what? This year, Thanksgiving is very late. So what happens is we come back to only 1 class. Can you believe it? After Thanksgiving, we get a whole week. Then we come back on December 2nd, and your groups, you'll be in a group, you will present your projects just like online. We will be recording your projects via Zoom, and then I will give you feedback, and then you will take your projects based on my feedback, and you will make corrections to your final project. And in your final project, you'll be recording it in Zoom as well. Individual groups will be recording in Zoom. And the final project will be due the time of the final exam, which will be after December 4th. Questions right now, and you can put them in the chat, or you can unmic yourself and ask me anything about the syllabus, how it is, what it's happening. Any questions? Clark, is there anything that I need to address?
There's nothing in the chat so far.
Okay, perfect.
I have a question.
Yes.
So I was looking at the Wiley Plus.
Yes.
And there's like a bunch of options of which to choose. Which one do you recommend us to select for the class.
Okay, so that's great. Great question, Sebastian. You get credit for asking questions too in this class and participating. So that's great. So we have questions about Wiley Plus. We'll go over that right now. And we'll go over the quizzes and everything we do. And you know what we'll end up doing is, let me show you something. And then Sebastian, you can share your screen and we can see what you see, because I'm the professor. I have a different version, a different role than you have. Okay, so right now I have this part of my BTE where I have my content with my fall. And then if you look at it under what's due, it says for week 1, assignments due Monday, August 26th, which is a week from today. It says you need to do readings from chapter 1. And then it says you need to do an assignment, adaptive assignment, and a Wiley assignment. So let me go over that right now, okay? So if I go to, after what's due, if I go to, first of all, let me go to Wiley assignments. So under Wiley assignments, it's called Wiley quizzes. Do you see that, Sebastian? And when you look at it, when I look at Wiley assignments, I see what? Blank screen. Do you see, Sebastian, a blank screen too? Under Wiley quizzes? There's no content to display. Because my content is right now in edit mode. So I'm going to just turn it on. So I have a different role than you do. And later on, you'll learn the different roles. And I'll look at chapter 1, Introduction to Information Systems. So I'm going to show you, Sebastian, a little bit behind the screen, behind the scenes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit the test options. Do you see that? And it says chapter 1, Introduction, and it says open and test a new window. I'm going to say yes. And now it says, Sebastian, you're on a roll. It says make available to students. And it says right now, no. What should I change it to, Sebastian?
Yes.
Yes. And it says make a new announcement. And I'm going to say yes. And now it asks for a number of attempts. In this case, they're quizzes that cover the chapter readings. So Sebastian, you'll be reading the chapters and you'll cover it. And my goal right there is for you to get it right. So for this first time, I'm going to give you 2 attempts. Because my kid, it's really minor what grade you get on it. I want you to get the full grade on it. So I'm giving 2 attempts. So you know that, but your score will be your last grade attempt. So what I'm assuming, Sebastian, is that you'll improve, not get worse, right? If you get worse, then that's not good, right? It's just like machine learning. I want the machine to learn like a human. You should be learning from your mistakes. You can take these quizzes open book. You can find answers however you want to find it. You can do that. On the exams themselves, it will be closed book. So at this point, I think about it as more as practice, but you're going to do it. I'm not going to force a completion. I'm not going to set a timer. But in the exams, you will have time limitations, right? And it says you want to display it after a certain date. That's fine. I want to add it. The due date, let's make it then the due date. In this case, is what did we say it was going to be? It was going to be the due date is in August. We'll make it August 26th before the class. Okay, so that's the idea here. It will include this test in your grade score. These will be your answers submitted. I'm not going to do it one at a time. You'll see it all. And now I'm going to submit. Once I submit, right, if I go in the edit mode as off, I should see quiz 1, chapter 1. Do you see it as well on your end, Sebastian? Do you see it, Ethan John?
Yeah, I just checked. I see it.
Okay. That's why I want to get feedback now, not after I finish the class. And it's so easy for me to make a mistake, right? I forget to check no, if I forget to check yes, make it available. I go on my merry way and I get a different version than you do. So it's your responsibility. Let me know all the time when I'm doing it. It's easy kind of to phase out. Try it on your own when I'm doing this as I'm going. Now, the other part is Wiley reading and adaptive. And what I did, I made a change, Daniel. I only show chapter 1 now rather than all the chapters. So it's clear. What do we have to do? And it should say that for issues under chapter 1, it gives on my end, it gives me why should I study information systems, the overview, how does IT impact, the importance of it, and a closing case. And then let me just move this a bit. It says information systems adaptive assignment. Do you see that, Clark? In each chapter of Wiley reading and adaptive, it will say adaptive assignments. The readings are up there, so you can click on, so I could click on, for instance, an overview, and it will take me to the text. So it should come back with a bookshelf and give me, this is kind of the text part, right? And these are the text here. And the questions there on this adaptive assignment are going to be adaptive in the way that you'll see it. This is my end. I'm the instructor. My role, Clark, is the instructor here. Your role is the student right here. It's saying, I get then, if you look here, let me just move this up a bit. You see that chapter 1 information assignments, and it says 5 people actually tried to log in. So it will tell me how many, what are the process, it will give me every information. So now what you need to do is I'm going to stop sharing. And Sebastian, why don't you share your screen? Everybody understand what I'm doing? I have a different version because I'm the instructor. My role is to evaluate you. Okay.
Do you see it?
I see this. Now go to Wiley reading and adaptive. You see on the side there? It says Wiley reading. Click on Wiley reading and adaptive. Now click on chapter 1. Okay. And now click on adaptive assignment.
Adaptive assignment. Where is that?
Right at the end.
Bottom one.
Yeah,
Bottom
sorry.
one.
And then
Okay. So this is what you'll get. So every time now you'll be able to decide how you want to do it. What I suggest you do is go all the way down. Is there the intro where you see at the bottom where it says 14-day trial, Sebastian?
Yeah.
What I suggest even for tonight is people can choose 14-day free trial. So in this case, let's say you don't like the class or something happens or they're saying you get a way out of it.
Okay.
You say, hey, I liked it the first day, but the second one, wow, I don't want to do this. You know what I mean? I don't like online. I don't like to do so much work. I don't like to be called on. Whatever it is, I don't mind, right? So you can choose it. Or if you go up, you can single term access here. What is this that you can just do it? You don't have it. What's the difference between 97, 76? I would go, if it were me, Sebastian, I go the cheapest way.
Okay.
You'll see what, once you get to know me, I'm frugal. I don't like to spend money if it's not a value. You know, I've been with Bill Gates one time, and we were going to a conference. This is kind of like name dropping, and this is earlier in his career, and we're going to a hotel, And I said, Bill, we're late. And he goes, yeah. And I said, see, there's valet. He goes, oh, that's not good value. So, I mean, it was hilarious. But anyways, so I'm like that, if it's not good value, but you just determine what you want. If you want print, book rental, or whatever you want, but you need the book and you need Wiley Plus together. In the beginning, to do the first things, I would tell everybody, at least go to the 14-day. And then after that, it'll ask you for upgrade. At day 13 or 14, it will ask you for doing an upgrade.
Yeah.
Excellent question. Did I answer your question, Sebastian?
You answered it perfectly. Thank you so much.
That's what I want to do. If I don't do a good job, then you have to say that's not clear. Okay, so stop sharing.
Yeah, going to do that right now.
So you see how everybody's it's important. Do you see that's important? Why it's important that you share? Because my end is the publishers, basically, since I'm the instructor, they give me the materials because they want to sell their books to you, right? So that's the issue. So if I share my screen, right, and you can see that the parts it is that what I suggest you do, Sebastian, is everybody do this for even Wednesday so we can get that out of the way. It's due on Monday, but get it out of the way in case there are problems, right? That Clark, if you can think about it, if you have a problem, what we saw, for instance, what were they, for instance, Daniel? Sometimes when you did the adaptive assignments, you ended
it was the browser. So
it was
I
a
highly
browser.
recommend
like
using
Safari
Chrome.
sometimes. So try to use Chrome because there's so
If
many.
it works, though, it works,
Right. And sometimes their servers down. You remember how we talked about the cloud versus on premises? Wiley has their own server. Sometimes I don't have control over it. So sometimes the server is down. So these are ideas that you can think of. Okay, so you can see here, before you answered the questions, what I would do is I would go through these chapters, however you want, Sebastian. At the end of every chapter, you're going to take an adaptive assignment. You may be given 15 questions. Clark may be given 20 questions. It's adaptive how you respond. It may take you 20 minutes. It may take her 30 minutes. It records everything. After you do the Wiley reading and adaptive, you also go to the Wiley quizzes. On the Wiley quizzes, you'll have the Wiley quizzes, click on it, and you see here where it says, this test allows multiple attempts. It's 2 attempts. Click begin to start, and then you select begin, and then you take your quizzes. You have two times, your last one counts. You'll have that for each chapter that we go over in the book. Is that clear? Perfect.
Yes, Professor.
Yes.
There's a question in the chat by Dalton McDonald saying, another question about that is, will it be included in our course pack, or is that a separate purchase we have to make?
I don't know. What does a course pack mean?
Asked and answered. No worries.
Yeah, Daniel sent me an answer. We got a course pack included in our tuition that was supposed to cover all of our textbooks and stuff we needed, but apparently this one's a separate purchase that we had to make as well. So we got it figured out.
Okay, good. Yeah, is it with kind of like for sports or something like that or whatever?
No,
okay, but anyways, you guys, but you got to figure it out.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, thank you so much, and thank you for clarifying it. Yeah, okay, the other thing, if I go down, so I know that I've gotten the syllabus. I know that I know where the Zoom meetings is. I know what's due. I always want to check what's happening there. The Wiley readings and the Wiley quizzes. I know I want to do that. Now there's PowerPoint and documents. And under the PowerPoint and documents there, depending on how you like to study, you have all the PowerPoints for all the chapters in the order they are. You decide if you want to look at them, you decide. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll use them in class to emphasize things that may be a little bit more complicated. I'm not going to spoon feed you, Sebastian. I expect that you know how to read. What I want you to do is after your readings, after the quizzes, if something's not clear, what I expect from you is basically to ask for clarification during the class. But why? I respect your time. I don't need somebody to read the book for me. I don't expect somebody to, I can read PowerPoint slides. You can read PowerPoint slides, but rather I use the PowerPoint slides sometimes to basically emphasize this is a little bit confusing, or there's a lot more, of course, going on now than even if this book has a 2024, it's already outdated, right? There's so much happening. It's even hard for me to keep up all the time. So you know that you have those PowerPoints. And then you have assorted web links. I changed this a little bit. Let me just see if it will work. You have here, it says how to access Wiley Plus. We already know how to do this. The other thing, what I would like for all the classes, and you can even put that, Daniel, in our assignment, in our first assignment, if you don't mind, is putting out New York Times and Wall Street Journal. So in this case, Clark, do you ever read these publications? Clark?
I have not.
Good. So do you know what I like? You know that I'm frugal, and I think we as a university community should take advantage of whatever the university gives us. And the university gives us, let's see if this link works. That maybe what the university gives you is we can get free, because we're part of the university. We have a miami.edu part, is we have access for a free version of the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal. So for Wednesday, or even you can put it, I guess, on that Monday assignment, is I'd like each of you to go to the link and subscribe to the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal. The way it's, hundreds of dollars sometimes to get these. The beauty is with your Kane ID and password, we get it complimentary. Why do I like? Go ahead.
This isn't an assignment or anything. It's just for your benefit. It's free.
Well, I'll maybe give assignments to it.
Okay,
So
we can
some
add
of the and what I'd like for students to do is I'll show you is I'd like you to be familiar what's happening in the world. You understand that what I find with students is that, or all of us, that we are kind of narrow in our own views, Daniel, and we only kind of listen to our own media, and we only see what we're interested in our TikTok or our Instagram. So I like to use it to give us a heads up. And let me just show you, for example, there's the New York Times. So I'm already subscribing. So if I do NY Times, what they do is they have a paywall. So some things you're not able to do, but you're able to see that. So we see pictures of the hugging and the kissing and so forth. Biden will pass a torch, but I'm not interested for this class about that. But what I'm interested in, if you look, Clark, under business, what version do you think I'm going to be interested in is tech and personal tech. So like once a week, what I'd like you to do is look at the New York Times tech and look already what's happening. You see that, Daniel, what I like about it? You really can see this has gotten to be mainstream already, what they're talking about, and they're under what category? Business. So it's just not AI. So you can think about here.
Business tech.
Yeah. How AI can help start small businesses. So my entrepreneurs, right, that we can think about that you could even think about it. Alex Karp has money and power. So what does he want here? In a rare interview, this billionaire, a man of mystery, the head of Palantir, talks about war AI in America's future. And OpenAI says it's disrupted in the Iranian misinformation campaign. You know how I'm kind of, Clark, I'm all excited about AI, but guess what? There's a disadvantage to that. Just think about how much misinformation there is. Think about fakes. Have you ever heard about that, Clark? I mean, it's amazing. So you think about Iran, for instance, right? It's usually not our friend, right? Already has a misinformation campaign. How could I tell? I can't even tell. OpenAI, right, from ChatGPT is saying that. This one, how AI can start small businesses. And then, here it's, look at this, even for tech, a personalized brain pacemaker for Parkinson's, right? Apple on Apple rules. So look at things here in terms of what's happening. And this may be interesting that later on you may use it for us to talk about. You may even, it'd be interesting even, Daniel, to have like web links in the audit area where students can put in, like general, hey, this was an interesting article I read. So here it's how AI can help start small businesses. Entrepreneurs say use of artificial intelligence for a variety of tasks is accelerating the path to hiring and ideally profiting. So this guy basically is a professor, has graduate students start businesses from scratch. And then he talks about, this is kind of interesting. So you may look at that. The other one is, what did I want? Is the Wall Street Journal. So WSJ.com, and you have access beyond their paywall. Wow, a tech entrepreneur is missing in Italy. But where do I want to go to, Clark? Among these, where would it be important? Tech, right? So, and notice here, topics. What are really topics? AI, biotech, cybersecurity, which we will cover in this class. Personal technology we'll cover in this class. And if I go to tech, AMD. So in this case, has anybody ever heard of AMD? AMD is a chip maker that's shows AI chip business isn't just about acquisition, about hardware. Kind of interesting. This is a woman, she has an electrical engineering background. She's been in charge of AMD for a number of years, is one of the leading women in CEOs that is doing this, but you can kind of get a feel for what is popular in tech. Sam Altman with OpenAI, you can see it. Driver assistance is dealing with tech. Gene therapy, AMD. Thinking about what seems to be the trend, what sparks your interest. Especially look at the artificial intelligence section. Eric Smith, remote work, and then Google new phones, UI, biotech, personal tech. Remember the CrowdStrike outage over the heart of Microsoft? And then Google Gemini, a competitor of ChatGPT, sounds so human. I almost forgot it was a bot. We almost can think about having conversational ways to use AI. So these are areas that I, in the beginning, want you to subscribe and then take a look at. Any questions? So that's what I've changed there. What else have I got? My grades you can do as well. So let me, I think I've covered everything. Anything else that I'm missing, Daniel, that you can let me know?
I think that's everything, yeah.
Perfect. Any questions from people? So what I would do, even, and Sebastian, you asked that excellent question before, what I would do is get it done for Wednesday. And then we can, and why do I like that? If you have issues, since the assignment's due Monday, you can come up and say, you know what, I couldn't get it. Look at this. And what do I want you to do is share your screen, say, this is where I got stuck. And then somebody will be able to tell you, hey, maybe try another browser, try something else, And for everyone, then this doesn't affect anybody's financial aid. It doesn't affect whether you want to stay in the class or not.
One more thing, office hours, they are after the next section. So from 6:20 to 7:20, the Zoom link is posted. And then also they're by appointment. So if we can't figure something out via email, just, message me and we can set up a link.
And everybody put that in your notes of the two exams. Because I've had people before where they'll tell me a week before, they say, oh, I had a wedding. Well, then if you had a wedding, if you know you have a wedding, you don't take this class. Or I wanted to go early on my fall break. You want to go early on your fall break? That's fine. I don't get involved in anybody's travel plans, but don't take my class. You got the idea? That's not going to be an excuse. You know what I mean? So if you want to be in my class, you're welcome. We may do a couple of other, I'll let you know in advance. We may meet physically another couple of times, but definitely those times we will meet in the class. You will take it. We'll do a review before the exams as well. Questions? We're good? So we're going to end class. Oh, let's do this one thing. Let's take attendance to see how the attendance works too. After I take attendance, you're welcome to leave. If you'd like to ask me some other questions, stay online. Also, those people that I asked to stay with me in the class, and then we'll proceed. Anything else? So I'm going to share my screen. We're going to do attendance, so you'll see how the attendance work. The attendance doesn't count for so much, but when people are in between, grades, or I'm saying, hey, this student, is between a C and a D, and they never attended, or this student, is in between and they've attended all the classes, it may not hurt them. So I'm going to do attendance. Let's see how it works. I set it up, Daniel. We'll see how it works for both of them. And what I'll do, I'm doing it, and we'll decide here. What do I need to do here?
Check in.
Check in. Perfect. I'm doing my thing. I'm going to start checking. You're going to have a pin generated, and you're going to have 2 minutes to fill that out. When you finish, you can leave. I'll see you on Wednesday. Otherwise, stay with me, other than those students that I asked as well. So let's start the check-in. Let's see if it works. 1939, you can do your attendance so you get credit. And let me know if it works. Sebastian, did it work?
Thank you.
Yeah, it worked. Thank you so much. It was nice meeting you.
Thank you.
Nice meeting you all. Looking forward to
Thank you.
fantastic semester, and we'll get moving and we'll try out different things. If you don't like to try out different things, this is not the class for you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks. Ciao. So Aaron's staying with me, and Clark's staying with me, and Daniel's
Yes.
staying with me before you have to go to class, right, Daniel?
I have time.
Good. And Daniel has time. Antonio, everything
Professor,
okay?
one thing. May I finish practice at 3 p.m.? So sometimes I'm gonna be running a little bit late, but it will be like 5 minutes difference.
Okay, just let me know
letting you
ahead of
know.
time. Yeah, I
Okay,
appreciate you
perfect.
letting me know with your practice. And I always admire you guys having, it's enough having regular classes, but you got to work in the
Yeah,
team.
it's tough. Yeah.
It's tough, but you get some. But I found the tennis group doing pretty well in classes. If you compared all of it, used to be. I haven't had the tennis team lately.
Yeah, well, if we compare it with football.
I don't know, but anyways, and it's an international group, I imagine, this year too.
Yeah, we're only 6 players this year. It's a little bit different, but we'll see.
Only 6. Wow.
Yeah.
I used to come to you for a while. Let me know when you guys are playing. I haven't played tennis for a while, but I used to come and see you guys. I used to always come and see the kids too in the Junior Orange Bowl.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank
And
you.
let's just see. Perfect. And let's see if the record's here. Let's see here. And it worked.
3 absence.
Yeah, so perfect. And we'll see. These people may have just dropped. Who knows what it is? You know what I mean? But at least we know that work the dates. Okay, let me stop sharing and we can see what it is. Okay, so welcome. Then
You want to
Aaron-
record as well, or?
What? So let
Do
me
you wanna
just
record
stop
this?
recording. So perfect. So I'm going to at this case recording. I had some issues